Hello, everybody. I'm excited to talk to you. I wanted to find a cute spot with some air because it's been hot today here in the Pennsylvania, New Jersey area. I'm Jen Hart, by the way. Today I wanted to talk about something super important, like I kind of posted earlier about, like, here is a hack for your manifesting, to help speed it up a bit. Hey, how are you? One of the ways that you can speed up manifestation and getting something that you desire is to literally make your wants into needs. Now, if you don't understand what that means, let me give you kind of an example. I grew up with not a lot of money, and there were times where I lived a very bare minimum life. It was like programmed from childhood that you only got miracles. And my mom taught me manifestation, but she had a very interesting view about herself and then the world. So she couldn't manifest beyond a certain point. And I learned that same pattern for a really long time. And recently I noticed this, is that if I needed something, it had to be a dire emergency for myself to manifest it for whatever reason. Now, when I teach clients how to manifest what they want, sometimes they have to figure out a way to get behind something they desire, because there's a little bit of worthiness stuff and cultural programming, or maybe family programming and blocks that you don't even realize you usually have until you're like, why can't I get this thing I've always wanted? It could be a car, it could be an apartment, it could be just a new station, like a new higher perception or whatever. So for me, when I was growing up, my mom literally could manifest certain things. And I learned that too. Like I was saying, my mom in the summertime, just to give you an example, would not make as much money, or she would save her money for the winter time, because in New Jersey where I grew up, they couldn't turn off your electric in the winter time if you had children, I guess. It's for safety purposes. You don't want people dying and freezing. But my mom, during some summers, would literally not make enough money, even though it was the height of the tourist season. It was where we grew up in a very touristy town, and we were on welfare during the winter. It was very common. So my mom didn't make a lot of money at all, but she would be able to do this for the wintertime. I'm going to make enough money so they can't turn us off. But it was odd, because you would think, oh, well, she's busy all the time. She's making enough money. Why don't we have electric? So there were some summers I had no electric, and I would have kerosene lamps, and then I would get anxious. And my mom finally bought these gigantic battery powered lantern things, very 1980 something. But the reason why I'm kind of giving you this foundation is that because it took me a very long time to kind of up my being okay with wanting things, because as you might have been told, is that it's bad to ask for things, because it's a very lack mentality, that the universe isn't abundant. But so I got the skewed view, because my mom really did believe that she could manifest things, and the law of attraction and things like that. So I was very confused, because there were sometimes I would magically know that I was going to get this big jar of jelly beans, and I guessed the right amount. It's not magic. I was an intuitive child, hence an intuitive life strategist. And that's why I can help you kind of move around your blocks and erase them. And this hack will help you do this. It's if you have this issue with being okay to want things, whether it be a car, or I like the car as an example, because it's something that usually it could be considered a luxury item, or it could be considered a necessity. So the reason how you can hack your manifesting is basically say you want a car. I have an Acura MDX here, and it's something I've actually manifested. For a long time I wanted a Prius, but that's a side note. So during last August, so give you a background. Last August, my credit's not great. My old Subaru was rusted out, and the brake line went. Even the auto place was like, you have to take this home and bring it to a dump. We are not responsible for it. Good luck. We don't want you putting more money into it because it's a waste. So I was like desperate because I work and I need a car because it's not like there's a lot of public transportation where I live, etc., blah, blah, blah. No need to justify, just letting you know. So I had been eyeing up Acuras. Like, they were popping up all over, and I was like, I want that car. And after this happened, I went to a dealership, and I was denied, like, for months previously, because I knew my car was getting old, like, getting bad, but shit hit the fan, basically. And because of the brake line going, and the completely bottom of the car rusted out, and then wheel bearings, I mean, you name it, it was like a nightmare for my Subaru. God bless my Subaru. Great little car. But it took me a lot of crying to get to, and also my old pattern popped up. So my old pattern was, it has to be an emergency to create a miracle. And I warn people about that because if you have a lifestyle, like, you know how to manifest shit on the fly. You know how to manifest when it gets to that point. But how you can kind of hack your own manifestation is basically have your wants and make them needs. And I don't mean that in a needy sense like what I did, even though I did manifest my car and it was an amazing miracle because I tried everything, tried my credit union, tried months. And then this month before I got this car, I was hustling, and then I got denied the dealership that I eventually got this from. It was like a wholesaler, and they worked their ass off to help me. They found a lender that was willing to, help me, and I was willing to pay for this car. And I didn't want to settle because it wasn't like, hey, Mint, hi, how are you, love? Hey, you're awesome. Thanks for joining. So, getting back to my story. So, I made, unfortunately, the energetic where I was, because it was a pattern that was popping up, so it might help you. So if you are used to manifesting, but only in extreme circumstances, like you're only allowed a miracle if you have a problem. Like, that's how I grew up with. My mom could manifest money only when it was absolutely 100% necessary. So the funny thing about this is that it was absolutely necessary for me to have a car. Was it absolutely necessary for me to have an Acura? No, but that was the car that I had envisioned for months on end before getting it. And I test drove it and and eventually it all worked out. But holding that vision and that want and desire, I created this crazy world of like, my old Subaru had to be busted to hell before I would allow myself to have the car that I wanted. Crazy. And the reason, but I'm tying it into helping you manifest, and I wouldn't want you to necessarily go to this extreme, is because when this manifesting hack is basically make your wants and desires into a need, but not in a greedy type of, like, a desperate sense. It's like, this is my non-negotiable now. I will not probably drive a car that doesn't have heated seats again. Maybe if I lived in Florida, I might not want that, but like, I live in the northern territories of the North Atlantic, so it's a little cold in the wintertime. Thanks, mind your desire. I love it. You go, Susan, going in your journal about this. Oh, cool. Awesome. I'm so happy this is resonating for you. Yay. So a lot of the stuff from August for getting in this car. So I'm trying to stay on topic because my brain is like, there are 2 points you want to make. Well, the one point is make your desires into needs, but they're really not needs. They are standards. It's like, there are no days where I will not go to Starbucks. And I know some people hate Starbucks, so don't hate on me. I love the culture of Starbucks and the feeling of community, and I can get a consistent double espresso the way I like it. So don't hate on Starbucks. But whatever your thing of choice is, that you have standards that you will always buy the same toilet paper or toothpaste, or if you want to go higher, it might be I will only live in a 3,000 square foot home, or I'm only going to live in a tiny home. That's the only type I wanted. By the way, hi, Bianca. How are you? I hope I'm pronouncing it Bianca. Like Bianca? Like Bionic Woman? You're awesome already. I love the unicorn. Thank you. Because I wanted to say your name, but I didn't know how to pronounce it. So please, I apologize for butchering it if I did. So Bianca? Let me know, and then I will definitely not be an asshole, and I'll say it right. I promise. I sometimes have a challenge with names, but I'm going to do my best. Bianca. Thanks for the hearts. Anyway, so you already have standards and values. It's kind of like you like certain brands. And sometimes the more you want to manifest in the world, you have to change your standards. And for some people, especially when you've grown up with not a lot, you either go to an extreme where you're like, I want all high end, or you go into that middle zone or lower zone because you're still not feeling worthy or deserving of being okay to understand your desires or accept your desires as like they're perfectly amazing and you can have those desires. But in order to kind of shift the mindset and the hack of your manifestation, sometimes you have to create a need as like, this is non-negotiable. I'm not having this for the rest of my life. Now, it doesn't mean you can't change later on, but it definitely means that you're setting a kind of like, what is a standard? It's like a new value system you are laying. Now, sometimes we don't we haven't consciously created our value system. We create because of what our parents have influenced us, or we may have not done a lot of mindset work, and manifesting, you're like, what the hell is that? Or I understand the law of attraction, but kind of like, don't I just think about a bike and I get a bike? Not like that at all. There's a lot of energetic work. There's a lot of mental work to do. And I say a lot as a relative thing because you can do this quickly. Because when I manifested this car, I went some dips in energy and I didn't think I was going to get it at all because the car, the exact color, same model, different year. The loan company said, no, we're not going to give it to you. The mileage and the car is not appropriate. And I was like, I'm not going to have my car. It looked like I wasn't going to get what I desired. But I, somehow after I kind of had a meltdown because, it's okay. But I got back on the horse of belief. And that's truly challenging when you're like, I have no vehicle. But I decided, you know what? I'm just going to stay in faith. Something will work out for me. I don't know how. And if it's not this, it will be something better. And that's what I literally had to drill that in constantly when I was feeling that anxiety and fear and like sadness and like, how am I going to get anywhere? All that fun stuff. So I eventually went on a couple days vacation with my best friend and her family. And the day we were leaving there, I get a call from the auto place and they're like, we found your car. We have it here. We're getting it now. It's from New York. You want to come get it today? It's yours. And I was like, what? So I drove all the way. It was like an hour and a half north of where I live. And it was the car. And the loan company said yes. And it was in the price range that I knew that I could standardly set to pay. And mind you, it was the highest I've paid for a car monthly for ages. Like my last car that I paid, as if you want all this information, but there's always a relevancy here. But the last car I paid, it was like $272, and this car was $331 or $330 or something like that. And the craziest thing is that there's a part of me that says, why would you even have a car payment? That's silly. It's because I knew that this car was going to do more for me energetically. It was going to keep me in almost an energetic manifestation state where I couldn't go below. Like now that I live in this car, and that doesn't mean there aren't good cars that are relative or anything like that, but just in my energetic space of like, I value this car enough to pay this kind of money for it. And for somebody else, it might not be their thing. But I'm just using this as an example so you get the idea that when you have a desire, your whole holistic system has to get behind it. And for me, in order to pay $330 a month for a car, I had to get fully on board. And that meant matching my desire for transportation and safety and all that jazz, and in my form of luxury. And that could mean anything. That could be an apartment. That's how I manifested my roommate situation currently. My kitchen is freaking phenomenal. And I didn't imagine that kitchen before. Like, I left a lot of manifestation up to the universe, but I set my want into a need. And it is a little bit programming or patterned from my old past, but it's an easy hack for you to start elevating your life and up-leveling. Because previously to getting this car, not only did I make less, I had less expenses. But now that I have this expense, it's odd, but I can meet this expense. And then my rent went up too because I moved out of my other place. So, and then I can still maintain. And it's not like I'm working 10 times more or anything like that just because my expenses went up. So I hope this helps you in this aspect. And the reason why this is something you might want to go in depth more working with me one-on-one is because all of the things that you desire and making maybe the want into a need, it's not just about that. That's important. And it will literally, if you make going to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts a non-negotiable, you will have that every day and you won't see a major flux. Now, if you want something bigger, like a new house or a new car or a new relationship or a new job, it might take a little more effort, emotional effort and energetic effort. But in reality, it's pretty easy to up-level. The whole goal, though, and the reason why there's a caveat to this is that, and how you maybe want to work with me further, is because there is a self-worth piece underlying this, because maintaining is a whole other animal. Like, I had a leased car previously, a couple of cars ago, and I was unemployed for some of that time, and I did not make it a non-negotiable to not lose that car, and I got a repossession, and then I got the car back through miracles and assistance and from my friends, and then I paid them back. So I allowed that to happen because of my energy. And luckily my energy bounced back up. Like miracle upon miracles, there's always a way to what you want. So I'm giving you these examples because I still, even though I teach this stuff, self-worth, especially around money and transportation. Transportation's like been a karmic craziness since I was 17. Like, seriously. It's like there's something in my astrology or chart or whatever, like past karma, or I don't even know, that keeps coming up in terms of that. But value, the caveat that I'm talking to you, that I would encourage you to like either work with me or work with a different coach, is to, like, if you're having a hard time maintaining that new standard, that new level, that's why you probably want to work with somebody who can show you your blocks and help you remove them and get to the next one. And the greatest thing about being a human being, a spiritual human being, is that there's always growth to happen. There's always something more to learn. There's, as they say, which I don't really love the thing, but new level, new devil. So if you find the love of your life, you might have the most amazing time with that person, but you're going to grow in that relationship. You might learn new things about yourself. You might learn new things about them, and then you have to navigate all that jazz. The same with getting a new job, and kind of, they say usually when you get a new job, it takes at least 6 months to a year to know your job fully. Hi, Brian, 21K1, how are you? What up? It's good to see you. A long time. Holy cow. I'm trying to see your picture. Anyway. What else? So this is why it takes a bit of work to stay at a certain level. energetically, financially, spiritually, physically. You know this, especially if you go up and down in weight. And that's a whole bunch of, am I good enough? Do I deserve this? I have to justify and prove that I deserve this, whatever desire is, or it could be, I have to prove that I deserve this healthy body. No, you're a human being, you deserve a healthy body, whatever that looks for you. You're a human being, you deserve to be able to take care of your health. You deserve to have, amazing people in your life that lift you up, as Gary Vee said, like all the schmucks that tell you that you're shit. Not the shit, shit. Let go of those people that aren't uplifting you. You are more than enough just by being born. And that is this whole random talk that's not so random. It was planned because I did some amazing journal work around it too. And it's been popping up through the coaches that I, look towards and mentored by and pay, is that it's all synchronistic. Sometimes maybe you're meant to hear this. And I'm hoping that this resonates with you, because at least on a basic level of manifestation, if you want to shift and up level somewhere in your life, whether it's your health, whether it's your mind-body connection, your spiritual connection, your relationships, your job, your income, your car, a physical form, any external thing, if you want to up-level it, make those wants into an absolute, this is a necessity. It's a necessity. It's like brushing your teeth is a necessity. Having toilet paper is always a necessity for me. Like, if I don't have a crap ton, and I say that funnily, if I don't have a crap ton of toilet paper, I'm seriously... No, I just go to the store, if I would even steal toilet paper if it got that bad. And no joke, and I'm no shame in that game, because that's my energetic standard of having enough of that for me. And that's why I always have more than enough toilet paper. And I know this is like a silly concept, perhaps, or an analogy, or I don't know what you would say, but this, I hope, gets across that you deserve these things, and the things that you want, and you can manifest them if you make them into a non-negotiable. And sometimes it really does take a lot to jump from, say, Daewoo. I don't even know if they make Daewoos. Daewoos are Kias, and not knocking anybody with a Kia, but let's be honest, it's a lower end car in terms of make, model, materials, etc. And if you have a Kia and you want to jump to a Ferrari, that's a huge jump. Energetically, it's a huge jump financially. So you might have to baby step that in order to get that Ferrari later on. And it doesn't have to take long, but you have to get your energy behind those things. And I use physical objects because they're easiest to kind of explain. When it comes to interpersonal dynamics like marriage or relationships, friendships, coworkers, etc., you can manifest what you want in those areas too, but there is some free will play involved. So there's a little bit more things to talk about. And it's not for a live stream, it's for one-on-one work. So make your wants into needs and make them standards. Make them a level that you're like, I'm not going below this. And if you realize that you can't stay at this level for whatever reason, you probably have an emotional, spiritual, or energetic block that you're not really, you can blow past it once you recognize it and make the choice. And it is work. Not hard work, but it's work to make the choice. Hey, Cindy, how are you, love? Thanks for joining. I'm so excited to see you. So it is work to kind of work your mindset, because really what we're all looking for whenever we're manifesting something is to feel better, to feel like we can be stable in this physical plane. It makes us feel like we can do things. We're empowered. And it can also make us feel joyful and happy and all the amazing emotions that it is to be a human being. So the hack that I'm giving to you yet again is make your wants into needs. Make your needs a standard that you no longer go below. If you have a problem keeping that, you need to talk to me and work with me one-on-one, or some other coach, some other mirror that can point out to you where your shift of need to figure out. Does that make sense? I'm sorry. It's been a long day. I've had a long client load, or huge client load today. So literally, working with me, just so you know, is that I'm an intuitive. And that is luckily my gift. I've been born with it. And I use it every day with my clients. Like, sometimes my clients are like, what the hell? How did you know that? I just can read the energy. And sometimes we're even hiding. It's hard for me to do it for myself. That's why I hire people. Because it really is hard to see our blind spots at times. Now, it doesn't mean you can't be self-aware and reflective. That is like gold, because that's how you will manifest all the things that you want in life, your dream life. And that's what my mission is, just to help you trust and believe in yourself and let go of the bullshit and literally know that you're enough and that you don't have to justify your desires. You can have them. And if you need more support on figuring out how to keep that new level and then get to the next level and keep that new level and go to the next level without self-sabotaging a lot. I mean, it's human nature. But eventually you don't do that as often, or when you get to this uncomfortable level, you start being self-aware of like, why do I do this? Oh yeah, I do this because I learned this. Let me shift it. I hope that's helpful for you. You can always direct message me or send me a private message or look for me on Facebook or here on Instagram, or, find me. I'm on the planet. I'm at JenniferBinghamHart.com. You can find me on Facebook at Jennifer Ann Bingham, Be Fiercely Courageous. And here on Instagram at Jen Hart, Be Awesome. Because I know you're already awesome, and maybe you don't believe it yet, but I'm here to tell you that you are. And if you need a ton of support on remembering that, I'm your gal. I have a 4-month program open up. You're more than welcome to message me and see if we're a good fit, if you are ready to do such work. If not, I will do more of these awesome things to show you how you can do this too. So just experiment. Make one of your wants into a need and see what happens. And comment. Let me know. I'd love to hear back more. All right? Take care. Don't forget to be fiercely courageous. And I will see you soon. Peace.